What is your name, please?
My name is not Tom Ainsley.
My name is not Tom Ainsley.
My name is not Tom Ainsley.
Only one of these gentlemen actually uses the alias Tom Ainsley, and he will try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Peggy Cass, Orson Bean, and Kitty Carlisle on To Tell the Truth. To Tell the Truth is brought to you this evening by Green Mint, the fresh chlorophyll mouthwash that gives you a clean taste of confidence, Green Mint. And now here's our host on To Tell the Truth, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much. Thank you and welcome once again to Tell the Truth. Good evening, panel.
Hey, Bud.
I tell you, this is the liveliest of all. Open up your envelope, if you will, and follow along in this first story.
With my whole heart.
With your whole... I, Tom Ainsley, have disguised both my name and my face. I have done so because I have written a book on racetrack betting and for certain reasons prefer to remain anonymous. My method, as outlined in the book, will help you to avoid betting on horses that don't stand a chance. For instance, I show you how to correctly interpret past performances, explain the difference between pace ratings and speed ratings, instruct you how to read the horseshoe board, and in the paddock, how to spot such bad signs in a horse as washiness, lameness, rankness, and kidney sweat. I call my book The Complete Horseplayer, signed Tom Ainsley. Panel, these three gentlemen all claim to be Tom Ainsley. We'll start the questioning with Peggy Cass. Peggy?
Thank you. Number 3, if you appeared at the racetrack in that outfit, would they let you in?
I'm afraid not.
No. And who would be the man who would stop you? What kind of a uniform would he be
I
wearing?
think it'll be a tout.
Oh. Now, number 1, what is rankness in a horse? Sounds like it smells bad.
No, it's fractiousness. When a horse misbehaves, they call him rank.
Thank you. Well, and number 2, now, kidney sweat is something I'm not too familiar with. How do you know when a horse's kidneys are sweating? I mean, they're inside.
Well, the sweat actually shows up on the outside, and you'll find very easily that it's between the two hind legs of the horse, like foam.
Where's your brother? Number 3, Mama. Number 3, sometimes you can't do anything right. Number 3, what is the difference between a pace horse and a speed horse?
Well, pace is not the horse. Pacing is a certain part of the race.
Yes.
Where you pace the animal. And
Thank you. Now,
I'm afraid that's all the time we have, so my best to your kidneys. Orson Bean.
All the good questions have been used up. Number 2, now, many a good woman has had her heart broken by the old man coming home late at night and say, well, I blew the paycheck at the track there. Do you feel that you are contributing to American home life by teaching men to win?
Well, I feel that it might help the budget a little bit if they come home winners.
All right, well, I suppose it's a worthy book in that respect. Number 1, who are Joe and Asbestos?
That's a cartoon I think is syndicated and gives tips on the horses.
All right, number 3, who is Nutsy Fagan?
never heard of him.
Never heard of Nutsy Fagan. That rules you out. Number 2, why Tom Ainsley? Why are you nuts, Tom Ainsley?
Well,
exactly.
Actually, by profession, I am a jockey, and writing this book could very well lead to some circumstances that might
Number
prove
2, is number 3 a
uncomfortable.
jockey, too?
Kitty Carlisle.
Number 3, are you a jockey?
No, I'm a private detective.
Oh, and number 1, what are you?
An author.
You're an author, a bona fide author who knows about racetracks. Who publishes your book?
Trident Press.
Thank you. Number 2, what does pari mutual mean? Pari part of the mutual.
Well, pari mutual, as best I can explain that, that's where you either win or lose your money.
No, that's not what I meant. Number 3, do you know what pari means?
Yes,
what does it
it's
mean?
a mutual machine.
Well, all right. Number 1, I never heard of all those terrible diseases that your horses have here, but I have heard of the heaves. Can you tell me what the heaves is?
Oh, gee. What you get after you have kidney sweat.
Poston.
Oh, I've got a terrible attack of kidney sweat and heaves over here. I'd like to ask number one, what number 3 could possibly have meant when he said that a tout would stop him from wearing that when he came to the track?
Well, it's probably the tout would think he was competing with him in that costume.
I guess so. Number 2, what is a horseshoe board?
A horseshoe board is a board that describes the different types of shoes that horses might be wearing in a particular race. And there are numerous types.
Oh, I see. Well, number 3, how would you rank a horse?
I wouldn't try.
Well, I think there is such a thing, isn't there, number 1? When they call ranking a horse, when they rank a horse?
I think we were talking before about rankness, which is an emotional condition of horses. And,
That's all we have time.
That kind of rank, you silly thing.
So mark your ballots, if you will, please, without consultation. Just simply vote now. Also without change.
I broke my crayon.
I'm sorry. Borrow Orson's. He's better.
He's not getting mine. If he broke his, he can't vote. That's it.
Well, vote as best you can for number 1, number 2, or number 3. And our team of challengers will, of course, receive $250 for every incorrect vote. Are your ballots all marked? Very well. Tom, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 1. I couldn't go along with that tout business, and I didn't like number 2's answer about something. But I'd like to know who Mr. Ainsley, not being that, who he is. Can we find out?
From him, maybe, but not from me.
Okay.
Peggy.
Well, number 3, I think the Pinkertons would stop you if you try to get into the track in that little rig you've got on. And I voted for 1 because of his terrific knowledge of horses' diseases.
Orson B.
I'm afraid I, too, voted for number 1 because of, I don't know, he's, even with that thing on, you can see that he is shifty of eye and could write a book about the horses.
Kitty Carlisle.
I voted for number 1. I don't see any reason why number 3 would be stopped at the racetrack. I've seen people look even more peculiar than that.
Do you mean before or after the race?
Never mind. I voted for number 1 because I think he looks like an author.
Well, there we have it then. The votes are all in, and you heard the minds are all solidly made up and unanimous for the same one. Now, let's find out which of these 3 gentlemen, in truth, is Tom Ainsley, or is not Tom Ainsley. Will the real Tom Ainsley please stand up? Number 2, what is your real name and what do you really do?
My real name is Bobby Jones, and I am the organist at the Red Coach Grill in Long Island.
And number 3, what is your real name and what do you do?
My name is Anatole, and I'm a mosaic artist.
Pardon me, how about that mustache?
This you can't have. It's
Oh,
mine.
that's yours. I'm sorry. Checking the score, we find the panel did well tonight, and they got them all right, so there were no incorrect votes. In that case, there still is $150 coming your way, along with our sincere thanks. You brightened an evening, and I hope you got some of the brightness off on yourself. Thank you very much. Goodbye, and God bless you. Now let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Virginia Tighe.
My name is Virginia Tighe. My name is Virginia Tighe.
Open the envelope and follow along with this one, if you will, please, panel. I, Virginia Tighe, underwent a unique experiment some 15 years ago. While in a hypnotic trance, I recreated intimate details of the life of a young girl who was born in County Cork, Ireland in 1798. Fantastic as it may seem, I felt that I had lived another life. I remembered my family in Ireland, the school I attended, the specific grocery store where I traded, and the prayer I used to recite before meals. I even was able to draw an accurate map of where I lived 150 years ago. And when I talked, I spoke with a genuine Irish brogue, using old-fashioned words no longer common today. When my experiences were written up in newspapers, there erupted a storm of controversy. People called the story a hoax. So an interested newspaper reporter decided to go to Ireland and check it out. He astounded the world by finding concrete evidence that corroborated dozens of details that I had outlined in my trance. You may remember my other name, Bridey Murphy. Signed, Virginia Tighe. These three ladies all claim to be Virginia Tighe. We'll start the cross-examination with Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you, Bud. Oh, I'm delighted to meet you. I've always wanted to meet you, whoever you are. Number 3, did this trance...
Oh, whoever you are. Oh. Excuse me.
Number 3, was the trance that you went into, was it induced on purpose to find out something like this, or did it just happen?
The first trance was accidental.
Accidental. And number 2, how did you happen to fall into this accidental first trance?
You mean other than hypnosis?
Yes.
Yes, well, I was, it's a social contact, a man that we knew personally.
Ah, and it just happened?
Just happened.
And number 1, was that the time then that you began to go back to the 18th century?
No, this was later, but that was accidental.
The second time was accidental, too? Number 2, have you seen on a clear day you can see forever?
Yes.
Do you believe this is correct?
It's very close to the book.
Thank you.
Tom Poston.
Thank you, Bud. Number 2, are you Irish? Do you know? I mean, by any chance?
A little tiny bit, and I claim this vehemently.
Right. Number 3, have you ever, just by chance, gone back to Ireland to see for yourself?
Never.
The things, have you, number 1?
Never.
Haven't you any desire to, number 1?
Yes, I'd like very much to go to Ireland.
Thank you. Number 2, do you know what karma is? You ever heard of karma?
I've heard of it, but I couldn't...
You know what that is, number 3, just by chance? I mean, it's not a person's name, it's a sort of a thing. Or
I do not.
Number 1, have you been hypnotized in a similar way since this experience?
No, no.
Have you ever wanted, number 2, have you ever been hypnotized again?
No.
Well, number 3, have you?
Not since the book has been written.
I'm surprised that you wouldn't want to see what else you got back there.
Peggy Cass.
Thank you. Number 3, where did you live? In what city in America did you live when all this took place?
Pueblo.
Thank you. And number 1, where in Cork did Bridey Murphy live? Cork is a county, so whereabouts in Cork?
Oh, I lived in the town, or outside the town in Cork, I'm told. In the meadows.
Oh, that was nice. Number 2, did you make records of Bridey Murphy?
There were some made, I understand.
And were they of your voice?
Yes.
Thank you. And number 3, who wrote the book? I mean, who put the book out, the story of Bridey Murphy?
Maury Bernstein.
Thank you. And number 1, could you tell me who Edgar Casey is?
Oh, not really. He had some medical experiments on record, and his son is now heading some research in this area. But that's down in Virginia Beach.
Thank you.
Orson Bean.
Yes, thank you. I could tell you the incredible case of the weird chicken of Putney, Vermont. It was an awful... Midnight. Used to come out and peck people. It was... Number 3. Now, I'm fascinated by this thing. Number 1 said, I am told I lived outside. Now, would you put it that way, or do you know where you lived in Cork?
It came out in the trance that I lived in Great Meadows.
Oh, I see. In other words, when you came out of the trance, you retained no memory of this?
No memory whatsoever.
It was 2 complete different things, right?
That's right. You go deeply into the trance.
How extraordinary. Number 2, did you remember anything when you came out of the trance?
No, nothing.
Well, how do you know they weren't just putting you on? When you woke up, they said, oh, what you said.
I'd like to think they did.
That's it. Time for you now to mark your ballots. So go into your special trances and mark them now, if you will, please, without any, of course, consultation. And no changing once you've marked your vote. Vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Ballots are all marked. So, Tom, for whom did you vote?
I heard somebody in the audience say 3, but I'm going to disregard your advice. I'm going to vote for 1 because 2, all right, so you have your vote, I'll have mine. I think number 1 maybe would have known about karma, and she did know about Edgar Casey, so she was like a sweet lady. I voted for her.
What is karma?
It's part of the living life over again of the reincarnation.
Peggy.
Well, I almost voted for 3 because I remember that the lady that was Bridey Murphy came from Colorado. But I've been to Cork about 4 times, and I don't know any town called Great Meadows, so I voted for 2.
You were only there 125 years ago.
I was there last year.
150 years ago.
Orson B.
You were in the pubs. They have old
I was in the bog.
Oh, excuse me. Well, I voted. I don't think that the lady would necessarily have to know what karma is. Karma, incidentally, means as you sow, thus shall you reap in the future. If you're a rat now, you'll be a mouse later or something. I voted for number 3, though, because it seemed to me that she was at ease more than the others, and I think that this lady got a lot of publicity and probably learned to live in the public eye. And,
I like your ectoplasmic 3.
yes, it's a little strange.
Kitty.
I voted for number 1 based on her answers, and I'm dying to know who it is.
Very well, the votes are all in, and mine's made up, so let's find out who it is. Which one, in truth, is Virginia Tighe? Will the real Virginia Tighe please stand up? Incidentally, for your information, a new edition of Maury Bernstein's book, The Search for Bridey Murphy, has just been published by Doubleday. Number 1, what is your real name and what do you
My
really
name
do?
is Martha Ferris. I'm a home economics consultant here in New York, and I predicted we would get 3 wrong votes.
Number 3, what is your real name and what do you do?
My name is Irene Mitchko. I'm a substitute school teacher in Boonton, New Jersey.
Checking the score, we find you were right. There were 3 wrong votes, and that means 3 times $250 for a total of $750, ladies. A fascinating story. We thank you for bringing it to us and hope you enjoyed it, too. Good night, and God bless you. And now let's meet our 3rd team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Ross Eckler. My name is Ross Eckler.
My name is Ross Eckler.
Follow along once again, if you will, panel, by opening that last envelope. I, Ross Eckler, am director of the United States Bureau of the Census. The first census was taken in 1790, when our country boasted a population of less than 4 million people. The Bureau of Census performs other jobs than merely counting noses every 10 years. It measures the value of imports and exports, plots the shift of our center of population as our people migrate westward, and helps determine the number of representatives each state shall send to Congress. It also provides other interesting statistics. For example, the excess of females over males in this country continues to increase. The lure of the big city has caused our farm population to decline 82% in the past 170 years. The average age in the United States is 28, and by the year 1970, 1/3 of our entire population will be under 20. Finally, in the 45 seconds it has taken me to read this statement, the population of the United States has increased by 3. Signed, Ross Eckler. Very well, panel. These 3 gentlemen all claim to be Ross Eckler. We'll start with Orson Bean. Orson?
Thank you. Now, does that mean, number 2, that in the last 45 seconds, 1 woman had 3 babies, or 3 women had 1?
Each is a possibility.
And it averages out to this, huh?
Yes, sir.
Mercy, that's a baby every 15 seconds.
Not quite. No.
15, 30, 40.
There are more born than that. Actually, we have to
In any event,
subtract those who die from those who are born, and the net result is 3 in about 45
Oh,
seconds.
I see. I'm sorry I get into it. Listen, number 1, well, as you and I are killing time, number 2, more babies are being born. I better talk faster. We'll have the country flooded in a minute. Number 1, why are there more females than males, or don't you care?
It's a biological fact that at birth, males exceed females, and then the females are more durable, so that in the years to come, they outnumber the males.
Good grief, it's a lousy deal, number 1, isn't it?
All right. We'll have to end your personal population explosion and go on to Kitty Carlisle. Kitty?
Number 3, what are we going to do when most of the population is under 20?
We'll probably sell a lot more records.
Number three.
All right.
Number two, why did they start taking a census? And was this the first census ever known in the world, the one that started in 1790?
The reason they started taking the census was they had to find some way of apportioning the representatives by states. And in
Thank you.
1787 was
Number
difficult.
one, the first, I'm so sorry, I do understand though. Number one, when they came around the last time for a census in my house, they asked all sorts of impertinent questions like, what?
Oh, excuse me. Not that important.
No, not that impertinent, of course. But like, how much money do you make? How many washing machines have you got? I don't think they ought to do that.
All right, you've made your point. Tom Poston.
Well, I'll ask number three, the second part of Kitty's question, if I may. Was this 1970 census like the first census?
1970.
1790, I mean, 1790. Well, there's a 1970 in here later, I
in
guess.
this country or in the world?
No, I mean the first census taken anywhere. In this country, we know it was, but was it the earliest census?
No,
taken?
it was not. It was only the first census in this country.
I can think of other countries that might need to have a census taken for proportional representation. In ancient times, what would they be, number two?
Which countries? I didn't understand the question.
Listen, I don't understand it myself, and I certainly wouldn't understand your answer.
Peggy Cass.
Well, number three, you've got me upset. If every little bit there's 3 people born, and there's more females than males, well, my gosh, what's going to happen to all the girls that are going to be left over? I mean, can't you fix this? I mean, like in... I figure in 50 years we'll all be dancing with girls.
Doesn't sound bad.
Sometimes it's hard to tell today.
Maybe that's how the original mistake was made.
This is my trick. Now, number one, are the people still going west?
They are still going west.
Gee, the
That's all
march is empty. They
Sorry to say, we'll have to quit that now and start in on marking the ballots. So, mark your ballots, if you will, swiftly and accurately, for the one you think is the real one, without consultation, without change. And vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Ballots all marked? All right, Tom, for whom did you vote?
Well, now they're really going crazy in the audience because I heard somebody recommending that we vote for number 4. So I voted for number 3 because...
while you were questioning.
Another one was born? Boy or girl? Number 3 has a very lively sense of humor, and I guess a guy that's worrying about the population explosion better be full of fun.
Peggy Cass.
Well, I voted for number 2. He looks kind of young to be the head of such a big department, but certainly has the personality to run it.
Orson B.
I think number 3 is going to be a big star and have his own show one day, and I want him to remember me.
Kitty Carlisle.
I voted for number 2 because when Peggy asked number 3 if he could fix the ratio between girls and boys, number 2 held his head in his hand. I figured that's the guy. He's got too many other problems.
So there we have it, with the votes all in and the minds, as you heard, made up. Let's find out which of these 3 gentlemen in truth is Ross Eckler. Will the real Ross Eckler please stand up? Well, you were... That's going one extreme to the other. You're 100% right in the first round. You're 100% wrong this time. Number 2, what is your real name and what do you really do?
My name is George Small. I'm a lecturer in geology at Hunter College, City University of New York.
Thank you, sir. Number 3, what is your real name and what do you do?
My name is Richard O'Crane. I'm Eastern Sales Representative for the Fleming H. Ravel Company, publishers of a new book called With the Whole Heart by the real Bud Collyer.
Thank you, sir. Well, in taking the score, you really won it the hard way because there were 4 incorrect. That's $1,000 coming your way, gentlemen. Hope it was as much fun as you seem to be having. We certainly had a good time. Good night, and God bless you. That's all we have time for tonight. Join us again the same time next week. Good night to you, panel.
Good night, Oscar.
Of course, I'll see you all and you all tomorrow, the afternoon show. Until in the meantime, that's a good line. Don't forget to tell the truth. Good night.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.
Danger stalks the African Game Preserve when two strangers lure Clarence into a vicious fight for his life on Daktari tomorrow night in color.
To Tell the Truth has been brought to you by Suppo Stockings, the beautiful sheer stockings that look as good as they feel. This is Johnny Olson speaking, for To Tell the Truth, tonight's program was pre-recorded.